I'm Stephanie Nilva. I'm the Executive Director of Day One. Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to start by acknowledging and thanking our diamond sponsor for the evening, DLA Piper, our platinum sponsors, Abigail Disney, the New York Women's Foundation, Pfizer, and Moody's Analytics. I also want to acknowledge our many gold sponsors, Boys Schiller Flexner, Morgan Lewis, Bernard Chauss, McKinsey, Joanna and Keith Cahill, Kara Edwards, Moran Eisenberger and Lauren Brown, Honey and Keith Heller, and Kyle Sell. And finally, our silver sponsor, the Morrison Forrester Foundation. Lastly, I want to thank HBO for presenting Game of Thrones on a Sunday night and not on a Wednesday night. This will be a spoiler-free speech. There's something about being a teenager when you start feeling like an adult. You're absorbing information a mile a minute and interpreting it into what the world means, incorporating new ideas and what those thoughts mean for you and for your future. You're testing boundaries, resisting restrictions, claiming your independence, and influencing other people. That's day one at 15. So young, but so powerful. I remember holding the organization in my two hands. We were two people in typical nonprofit. Each of us did everything from trainings out in the community to planning our first little baby gala in 2004. Today, somewhat painfully, so many things happen out of my sight. Great things. The moments in classrooms where a college student reads a day one guide and says, yeah, I'm done with that behavior in my life. In our summer program, when a teen turns to a classmate and says, let me help you think about that issue differently. Or when a second grader turns to their friend and says, I didn't like that and I want you to say you're sorry. We are present for these moments happening with 15,000 children and youth every year. More than 800 of those youth train with us to become peer leaders and advocates in their schools and communities. For young survivors, those moments look like Samantha receiving a call from Natalie saying, is it safe to talk? Or like another survivor, Jordan, crying with relief that they'll have an attorney like Andrew by their side when they go to court. Or like Gabrielle, hugging her counselor, Amanda, after we were able to buy a plane ticket to help her escape an abusive partner, thanks to support from donors like you. 2,000 survivors annually are supported by our direct services staff. My colleagues at Day One bring creativity and deep understanding to the challenges that young people face. Yes, we focus on relationship abuse and ending it whenever possible. But we can't end or reduce violence without broadening our focus onto interconnected issues that include, but are very much not limited to, poverty, sexism, racism, heterosexism. If young people fear authorities, they will not come forward and talk to law enforcement. If they think they're going to be shamed about their identities or their relationships, then they won't come forward to speak to either their families or to teachers. Day One brings a holistic view to our partnership with young people. We meet them where they are, and we look to them as the leaders in this movement. Day One now has a budget of $3.7 million, and we're 35 staff members. Every one of those people, and there are many in the room, please meet them and thank them as I thank them, or don't thank them enough, but I want to try to thank them here today. Every single one of them brings the passion and creativity and unbelievably hard work to the table on behalf of young people. Every single one of them has taught me something or shared something that made me think, I want to be like that. Speaking of people I want to be like, I want to acknowledge our board of directors and our valiant board chair, Kara Edwards. There you are. Each of our board members also works so hard on top of their regular lives to give back on behalf of young people. Which brings me to Honey Heller, our first board chair and, and recipient of tonight's Above and Beyond Award this evening. In 2004, Honey set the bar high for me in terms of all board members to come. She is thoughtful, generous, smart, and fierce. Twice recently, when I was trying to connect with her, she was too busy in Albany lobbying for bail reform and for driver's license for people who are undocumented. We are so deeply fortunate to have Honey on our board of directors. We're also so proud to present our Visionary Award to Abigail Disney, whose philanthropy, art, and advocacy has been a model and a guide for how storytelling can change hearts and minds, and how we should set our priorities and allocate our resources. Thank you so much to Zerlina Maxwell for sharing her story this evening and for working 7 days a week to keep our attention where it belongs on speaking truth to power. Our next speaker tonight is Zeke Thomas. Zeke is often described with a lot of hyphens when it comes to his professional life. He's an in-demand DJ, a musician who produces his own videos, all of which have powerful messages about social issues. He's been seen co-hosting shows like MTV's Catfish. 2 years ago, Zeke added another title to his resume, Sexual Assault Awareness Advocate. This new title is especially meaningful as Zeke has many identities when it comes to his personal life. He's the son of basketball player Isaiah Thomas. He's also a boldly out gay Black man who bravely went on Good Morning America to share the story of his sexual assault and the trauma he dealt with afterwards. Zeke has since gone on to break ground by becoming the first male ambassador for the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, touring colleges to share his story, help others with the trauma that they've experienced, and educating young people about why they deserve healthy and safe relationships. For living and expressing his truth, bringing his whole self to this work, and inspiring young people everywhere to do the same, we are very proud to welcome Zeke tonight.